If you were to ask 10 different people what Sherman Oaks is like, you'll get 10 different answers. And honestly, they're all kind of right. That's because Sherman Oaks isn't really one neighborhood. It's at least two, maybe three, depending on which side of one very famous street you end up on. Today, I'm breaking down all of it, where to look, what it actually costs, and who is this neighborhood really built for. I'm Amy Grauber, a local realtor right here in Sherman Oaks and the suburbs around LA. Each week, I'm walking you through a different San Fernando Valley neighborhood, so you know exactly what you're getting into. Not the postcard version, but a real one. I've helped many families move, relocate, and sell all throughout the LA area. And if that's useful to you, go ahead and hit subscribe and like this video so you don't miss the next one. And it really does help my channel grow. So let's talk about Ventura Boulevard. You really can't understand Sherman Oaks without understanding this street first. Ventura Boulevard runs straight through the middle of Sherman Oaks, and it basically splits the neighborhood in two completely different worlds. South of the boulevard, you're heading up into the hills, Long Ridge Estates, areas backing up into Fryman Canyon, bigger lots, more privacy, and honestly, a bigger price tag. Now, north of the boulevard, this is flatter. It's more of a classic grid of streets where you get a mix of charming older homes, some new construction, and a lot more variety in what you can actually afford. I get asked all the time, is Sherman Oaks a good area? And my honest answer is, well, it depends on which Sherman Oaks you're talking about. North of the boulevard and south of the boulevard genuinely feel like different neighborhoods, even though they share a zip code. So as we go through this, keep that split in mind because it's going to come up again when we talk about prices. Now, the boulevard itself isn't just a dividing line, it's also the reason that people want to live here in the first place. This stretch of Ventura is packed. We're talking restaurants for every mood, coffee shops, boutique fitness studios, and some great little bars. Fun fact for you, one of the very first Trader Joe's was opened right here on Riverside Drive in Sherman Oaks, and that original store is still running today. There's also genuinely a great farmer's market on Sundays and some solid bakeries. If you've got kids, Sherman Oaks Castle Park is a classic spot. Mini golf, go-karts, arcades, it's been a Valley staple for decades. And you can't talk about shopping here without mentioning the Sherman Oaks Galleria. If that name sounds familiar, it's because the mall was the iconic Valley hangout back in the 80s. It's actually also the mall from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now these days it's a lot more office heavy with Class A office space, and there is still a movie theater there, a few restaurants like the Cheesecake Factory and P.F. Chang's. It's definitely a little bit quieter than it used to be, more of a practical stop than a destination hangout. But it is still there and it's useful if you're in the area. If you want a real neighborhood hotspot, it's Casa Vega. It's been on Ventura Boulevard since 1956. It's a traditional Mexican restaurant which is James Beard award winning. It's the kind of place where you might be sitting one booth away from a celebrity and nobody bats an eye. If you only try one restaurant in Sherman Oaks, that would be my pick. So unlike some of the more residential only neighborhoods I've covered, Sherman Oaks gives you actual walkable life right along the boulevard. Even if your specific street is on a quieter tree-lined pocket, maybe it's a few blocks away from Ventura Boulevard. If you're someone who wants nature access without leaving the city, this is honestly one of the better spots in the whole valley for that. Fryman Canyon is right here, and it's one of the most popular hiking trails in LA. Locals use it constantly. It connects actually into a bigger trail system through the Santa Monica Mountains. And on a clear day, the views are genuinely stunning. Weddington Park is another local favorite, especially if you've got a dog. It's a well-loved off-leash area. So you've got this interesting mix, busy commercial energy on Ventura Boulevard, and then just a few minutes away, quiet, hilly, almost secluded streets where you'd barely know that you're in the middle of Los Angeles. That range is honestly rare. A lot of neighborhoods pick a lane, either walkable and busy or quiet and residential. Sherman Oaks kind of gives you both, depending on which direction you turn out of your driveway. Now let's talk about some of the practical stuff, because I always want to give you the full picture, not just the highlights reel. Sherman Oaks generally has strong school options, and that's part of what drives family demand here. Notre Dame High School is right in this neighborhood and is very well regarded. It's known for its powerhouse athletic programs and academic excellence. But because it's such a central connected location, that convenience does come with a cost. And I don't just mean price. Traffic also. I have to be honest with you, the 405 and the 101 interchange runs right through here. And depending on the time of day, that intersection can be genuinely rough. If you're commuting during peak hours, that stretch is one of the more notorious traffic pinch points in the entire valley. So the trade-off is real. You're incredibly central. You can get to Hollywood, downtown, and the west side, Burbank, all of it, relatively fast in off-peak hours. But during rush hour, that central location can work against you. Okay, let's talk some numbers, because this is where that north versus south split, it really starts to show up. Right now, as of when I'm filming this video, the median home price across Sherman Oaks is sitting somewhere between $1.3 to $1.5 million range, but that number blends two very different markets together. South of the Boulevard hillside areas, you're commonly looking at $1.6 million and up, sometimes well past $2 million for those larger view properties. Now, north of the Boulevard tends to run a little bit more moderate, $1.2 to $1.5 million range, and that's also where you can find condos and townhomes. Those might start in the $700,000 to $800,000s. Right now, there are roughly 300 homes on the market at any given time in Sherman Oaks. So unlike some of the smaller, tighter neighborhoods that I've covered, there actually is some solid inventory here, more options to choose from, which can work in a buyer's favor. Now, by the time you're watching this, those exact numbers may have shifted because that's just how real estate works, but it gives you a grounded sense of where Sherman Oaks sits. And more importantly, how much of that price can swing just based on which side of Ventura Boulevard you end up on. So let's go ahead and bring all of this together. Who is Sherman Oaks actually for? If you want walkability and restaurants, energy, but you also want hiking trails and quiet residential streets within a 5-minute drive, this is one of the best combinations you'll find in the valley. If you've got a family and school quality matters to you, it is definitely a strong contender. If being centrally located and close to everything is a priority, Sherman Oaks delivers on that better than almost anywhere else I cover. Where it's maybe not a good fit, if rush hour traffic is a deal breaker for you, or if you're specifically looking for a tight-knit, smaller neighborhood, some of the other areas I talk about might suit you a little bit better. But if you want range, city energy, quiet hills, all in one zip code, Sherman Oaks earns that reputation. So that's Sherman Oaks. One street, two completely different neighborhoods, and honestly, one of the most versatile spots in the entire San Fernando Valley. If this helped you get a clearer picture, do me a favor and hit subscribe so that you make sure you catch next week's neighborhood as well. And if you're seriously considering Sherman Oaks, or maybe you're trying to figure out which side of Ventura Boulevard fits your lifestyle, I'm Amy Grauber, a local realtor, and I would genuinely love to help you. Call, text, email me anytime. Let's chat. My contact info is in the comments below. And I'll see you on the next one.